two people on video. Pass that to you. Most people pay outrageous prices for a good cup of coffee. Today, I will teach you all how to make that same coffee for half the price and without even leaving your house. I'll be explaining the core steps to make an iced latte. First, we need to go over the essential ingredients that we need to make this coffee. After that, I'll give a quick tutorial on how to use this espresso machine. And then finally, we will put all of our ingredients together to make our latte. Just to give a little bit of context, I have worked as a barista for 2 years. I love making coffee and I'm very excited to be sharing my knowledge and skills that I've built up over the last couple of years with all of you. The first step to making our coffee is exactly the same as any other recipe. We first need all of our ingredients. And since I will be demonstrating how to do a honey cinnamon latte, I naturally need honey and cinnamon. I also have my milk, my ground espresso, and my espresso machine. So, I am now going to explain something that we have to consider while prepping, and that would be the materials that we are using. By this, I mean what the containers are actually made of. Most coffee shops, in my experience, use mostly metal utensils to ensure product safety. Because the vast majority of espresso machines pull at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, many plastic materials can melt. So that's why I have glass and metal here today for everything that will have hot ingredients. And now that we're talking about espresso, I'm sure everyone wants to learn how to actually use the machine. The first step here is going to be pulling this piece, which is called a portafilter, out of the machine. Where this came from is actually called the head. It's going to be the centerpiece right here, and most industrial machines have 3 of these. Next step is a little bit more specific to the person or the shop, but the generally agreed upon dose of espresso is going to be 18 to 22 ounces. I'm just going to be using 1 scoop today, should be around 20 ounces. And we're going to throw this into the portafilter. After measuring it out, we have to do something called tamping the grinds. This is essential for a couple different purposes. One is going to be to remove any air pockets that could slow the espresso's path through the filter. The second main reason we do this is the fact that an espresso machine is a pressurized system. If we don't tamp the grinds, then they are too loose and can cause watery espresso and ground deposits in your final coffee. When we tamp it, we want to put about 20 to 30 pounds of pressure on here just to make sure everything works right. Now, after this, we just wipe the top off and we put it into our machine, which is a little bit finicky if you're doing it from the side. There we go. Right now my machine is not plugged in, so I poured my espresso ahead of time and we're going to be using that today. But typically, a machine would start pouring our espresso in a 3-layer process that creates a distinct flavor that most people associate with coffee house coffee. I believe this moves us on to our final and most exciting step, turning the espresso into a latte. While this typically would need to finish up right now, it is already done, so we're going to start measuring out our ingredients. We're going to use 1 ounce of honey, which you just have to eyeball a little bit. I don't have my 1 ounce spoon here, but I'm going to throw that in the bottom. And then the next step is going to be cinnamon. I don't personally care to measure this too much, just because a little bit goes a long way here. Throw a little bit of that in. Next, we're going to put our espresso on top. Personally, I just like to make sure that it melts all the honey in the bottom so that it all incorporates evenly into our final product. After this, we have all of our flavoring ingredients in here, so I'm going to go ahead and pour our milk. Most coffee houses use 8 to 12 ounce measurements for their lattes, so I'm just going to throw in 10 ounces. This makes up for our 2 ounces of espresso and 1 ounce of honey that we put in earlier. Give this a quick mix. Now, all we have left to do is throw in our ice. And then toss a little bit of cinnamon on top. And then there we go. We have our delicious coffee house coffee for less than half the price. I hope that today, after learning all of our ingredients, learning how to pull the espresso, and learning how to mix everything together, you should have a pretty good idea of how your local baristas do it. I hope you all learned just a little bit about the process of making coffee and you're inspired to give it a try. Thank you.
Yay.